To be here right now with everyone. Happy International Children's Month, Global Wave of Love. We are having our mission of love, care, and respect for all the children on Earth here on World Unity Week, sponsored by We the World. And I'm here with some amazing, beautiful youth who are going to speak to positive questions that our lady of our Raheen is going to facilitate. She's put together this panel today. Raheen, why don't you introduce yourself and then we can meet everybody. Does that sound like a good place to start?
It does. So hello everybody. My name is Raheen Fatma and I am 12 years old. I am a stand-up comedian, I'm a writer, an entrepreneur, a teacher, and a theater actress. And actually putting together this panel was, I think, by far the most fun projects that I had done, because I remember calling all of them and they just said yes, and they're like, yes, I'm coming. And because here it's like 4 in the morning, so it's, we're watching sunrise together. And I think it's, the positive energy, and it's just really good. And what I want to say is that, in this Corona crisis, I think we should all forget all the combat, the clashes, the confrontations, and the competition, and we should focus on the collaborations. We should focus on the coexistence and co-creation in a very creative way. So I think you should all introduce yourself one by one. We would start with Lalaine and Anise, and we're gonna go around the room to see what you guys do and who you guys are.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Lalan and I'm an O-level student. And you can call me artist because I love painting and have a great interest in music. And I also like poetry, and most importantly, I also like social works. For example, like I conduct live shows on Facebook, and I have these social works in my genes because of my parents. My father is a software engineer by profession, and my mother is a teacher trainer, a researcher, and educationist. So that's why I have this in my genes. And also I'm a pretty well-known student in my school because my mother have been giving freelance sessions, used to give in my school. That's why I'm pretty well-known and active student in my school. And also my aim in life is to be well aware of every situation around me and to help anyone around myself without any hesitation. Thank you.
That's awesome. So it's great, and Lalaine is something like whenever she's around me, she was interviewing me, and I was talking to her about this project as well. And it was so, she was always ready. She literally called me before the session and she's like, are you ready? And I was having my coffee to keep myself awake at that time. I was like, the girl's so positive, So it's amazing having you here on board, Lalaine. Thank you so much for joining us today. And the next person that we're going to be meeting today is Muhammad Ibrahim. So hello, Ibrahim. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, hello, Raheen. What's up? How are you?
I'm doing great. Can you please introduce yourself so we know who Ibrahim is?
Yeah, for sure. I love doing this. So basically, first of all, I would like to say hello to everyone and these beautiful faces out there watching us live right now. First of all, hello. I hope you all are doing great today. And my introduction is really simple, that I'm a 16-year-old boy, and I'm a photographer and a videographer, also a content creator, also a content writer. I'm currently running 3 different YouTube channels, and they are doing really well, thankfully. And other than that, I am a person who loves the artwork and love to explore different perspectives, and also that thing, the collaboration work, I love that. And because collaboration gives a lot of different exposure about knowledge and other things, so that's why I love co-creation, and that's why maybe I'm here to explain about co-creation.
It is lovely having you around. And guys, so because I know all of them personally, so I remember going to an art gallery with Ibrahim, and it was so interesting. I remember him taking pictures of art, and he was seeing everything in a very different perspective. So I think youth and all youth, because everybody here today, all the panel, except the old lady that we have here, is under 18. So I think it is actually a very good thing to have youth talking about youth, because they are the ones who experience everything and can tell better about it. So give it up for Ibrahim. And the next we have is Baria Ali. Hello, Barida.
Hello, Raheen.
So can you please introduce yourself? Can you tell who you are to all of us?
Yeah. Well, hi, I'm Ali, and I tell stories to kids. Those can't read stories, but they can listen to my stories and learn too. And I go to Hira Foundation Schools. I am in class 5. And I am doing Hifzul Quran. I am memorizing Quran. And I like to draw and paint. Thank you very much.
It is our pleasure having you here, Baria. Baria is a magical storyteller. And I remember hearing a story of a tooth fairy. It was so good, and I actually believe in tooth fairies. That's how crazy I am. And so I think Baria is really magical. I love her artwork, because I think even if we might think, it's just, a bunch of different faces drawn or anything, I think, if you see it from a different perspective, children are really creative. Even my brother, who's 5-year-old, it's like he taught me to paint, because I had long forgotten. I thought, painting is for babies now. But when he, made me, he actually cried, "You have to paint with me." And when I started doing that, I'm like, no, even if I might not paint good in a lot of people's eyes, but I like it. That's, I think, the good thing about painting, that you enjoy yourself and you get to express yourself. So I think we should move on to the next question. Although Hassan disappeared, but I hope that he'll be back and he'll be able to introduce himself. So can you please tell us, what do you think is peace, and why do you think peace is important?
Oh,
So
and Hassan is back.
Again.
Hassan is back.
Oh,
Should we give him a second here to introduce himself?
Yes. Hassan, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. I would love to introduce myself. First of all, how are you, Ryan, and how are you, Rich?
I am great. So, Hassan, tell us about yourself.
I'm happy to listen to this. First of all, Raheen, I'm honored to I'm honored to come on this show and get part of it. So first of all, I would love to give my introduction. My name is Hassan, and I'm an actor. I'm a child star. I'm a singer. I'm a host. And a multi-talented person in a short form. And recently, I am owning an NGO. The name of my NGO is Bhuke Nahi Soenge. And the aim of my NGO is to help people how much I can, and we collect donations around the world and we help people. So it's a really great time that I love people seeing I love people having peace, and I love people having cooperation. So literally it's an honor to come on this show.
Thank you so much, Hassan. And all of these people might not see, but Hassan is doing so much. And Hassan, the NGO that Hassan mentioned about, it's all, distributing ration bags so, people do not sleep hungry. So it's all about kids taking care of the people and taking care of the surroundings, especially in this virus situation. Hassan has gotten a lot of big donations, but I would urge all of you to donate to Hassan's NGO, so that there's more people and there's more integrity and there's more collaboration. There's love between all of us. So I think
thank you very much, Raheen. But I would like to say that everyone is talented like me. Everyone has great duties, and everyone has great talent. So I am happy that the Allah gave me a chance to help people, and I am happy that the God gave you all the chance to show your talent to the world.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
See? And see, that's how I told that youth has a different perspective. He saw, something that I said with a different perspective. So please be free to share your thoughts about anything I say, anything the other person says, being respectful here. So I think my second question is, how do you define peace? We'll start with Lalaine.
Okay, I would define peace as peace means being free from disturbance. The absence of conflict is only the beginning of peace. True peace includes personal wholeness, rightness, political justice, and prosperity for all creation. Peace is important in our life to have a true happiness, and it can be achieved by being true to yourself as well. There are many ways to achieve peace, but it started oneself, and that is by being true to yourself. It is also called as the most vital way to achieve peace. And I think peace is building an enabler of development, security, social, and economic justice, and reconciliation. And in my point of view, there are three reasons why investing in peace building and conflict prevention should be a priority. Like number one, the effects of conflict are far-reaching. There are many people risking their lives trying to reach Europe or from Syria, Afghanistan, Somalia, and there are other areas beset by violent conflict, insecurity, or political repression. Half of these refugees are children. So conflicts, wars, or natural disasters have far-reaching effects. Number two, military answers to political problems alone don't work. At the heart of many violent conflicts lie issues of inequality, injustice, and exclusion. While criminality can feed on and into a conflict, there are often genuine and unaddressed grievances at play and expressed in violence. Conflict shatters lives and stunts development. More than 1.5 billion people live in countries affected by violent conflict, and the gap between those countries are enjoying relative peace and those affiliated people by conflict is growing. The newly adopted Sustainable Development Goals respond to the fact that no low-income conflict affected country achieved a single one of the framework's procedure, the Millennium Development Goals. Peace-building approaches including mediation and diplomacy, dialogue, and participation are an essential part of the toolkit we need to meet our goal to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development. Thank you.
Yes, that's a truly awesome answer, and I would say I love Lalaine's way of expressing herself because it's really fresh, and she really goes in detail to understand things and to research. So thank you so much, Lalaine, for your awesome answer. And you're really right about the Sustainable Development Goals because they are helping us as a global nation, not as separate nations, because we're just part of the world, and the world is one. So I think we should stand one. And I think learning the SDGs and knowing them and also spreading the word about the SDGs is really important because in Pakistan, I am the only female ambassador of the youth for actually the SDGs for youth and for kids ambassador. So being an ambassador, I think it's really important to spread the word. And it's really awesome to know that you know about these goals. And I am pretty sure that, everybody here would especially be big contributors to these goals. So I think we should move on to Muhammad Ibrahim now. So Ibrahim, how do you define peace?
Actually, I define peace as a very good thing. Like peace is a very important thing. Of course, in our life, peace is a lot important because peace is always bringing the positivity and the positive vibes, always trying to make you feel happy. So peace, how will peace start? For me, peace is something really, really positive, even more than the happiness or motivation or anything so much making you happy, any moment or anything materialistic. It's more than that. It's a feeling, and I can say that it's a lifestyle, which is the balanced lifestyle. People usually think and imagine of a lifestyle which is like completely perfect, and they want everything to be perfect, and no, nothing should go bad, everything going on point. They have a luxury car, they have a big house, and they are living their life without any problem. But it is not possible in our life, because we aren't a single person. We are connected to every other person. If we are driving carefully, it doesn't mean that we can't face any accident. Accidents can still happen because of the others mistakes. So we should always look up to the peace as a lifestyle, not as a just kind of a materialistic thing. So peace is a very normal thing, and I think it will start by creating, not by expecting it. So we should start promoting it, and by acting as a peaceful person, and should make the changes we want to see in the others. People say that a big quote that I don't know who said, sadly, but I would like to say that be the change you want to see in the others. So I will say we have to make the changes we want to see in others to live a peaceful life, and peace is highly recommended by me.
It is an awesome answer, Ibrahim, and I would say that it's really important. And I'd like
Exactly.
to share one point here. And for
Yeah,
peace to
sure.
begin, peace begins inside you. Nobody can, just make peace happen in the middle of the road, right? So I think it happens inside you. And so the most important part is to live within yourselves.
Hmm.
Sometimes I get angry, and I do not look pretty when I'm angry.
Hmm.
But I think, calm down, maybe practice meditation, try breathing, and it will calm you
Exactly.
down. Just take a breath, and that's how everything is. And no, nothing is perfect. Not even my morning coffee is perfect. So no day I can make it perfectly. Even today, it's more sugar. So, that's how life is, and be happy with what you have. Do not expect
Exactly.
more things. And
Problems
you said,
are also
having
the thing
luxury
which
cars.
keeps us very energetic. Problems are the thing which keeps us energetic, and keeps us the ups and downs, it keeps us ready for the ups and downs. Because if there aren't any ups and downs, then we will just be like lazy, and lying on the bed, and sleeping all the day, not thinking of our future, not thinking of the problems we did in the past, and the mistakes we did in the past. We will be so much lazy if we don't think about it. So we should think about it, and should start by our own self without expecting it from others first.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim. That was really, really wonderful. And I want to say one thing again.
Sure.
No car, no sports car, no luxury house would ever make you happy. I've seen such billionaires, like literal billionaires, and they're not happy. They are earning billions of, dollars and, rupees, and they have a lot of things. But one thing they do not have is peace. Because, they have everything, but they would not come home early. They would not have time to give to their children. And when, children really, really do not want cars, or they do not want, big vacations, all they want is a father and a mother who give them time. So I think that's one thing that children always, always would deserve, because they're just like orphans with a lot of money that they
Exactly.
cannot use if they do not have parents giving them
Exactly.
love.
I would like to appreciate you, Rahim. You have raised an awesome point, so I would really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim. And moving on, so the next that we have is Baria Ali, and tell us what you think about peace.
Yeah. As you know that peace is important because it helps to be friends with each other. If peace is all over the world, we can live happily. If there is
Yes.
peace, we can live together. Wars are harmful for this world.
Yes.
We should
And
more
Baria,
focus. Yeah.
I wanted to
We
say
should.
something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to be asking for a story, because I love your stories and I need to hear one today. So now, think of a good story. And anytime that you're ready for telling us a story, please do, because it's so magical.
Well, sure, I will do it.
Thank you so much, love. Okay, moving on to Hassan. Hassan, what do you think about peace? Hassan, you muted yourself. Unmute yourself. There's this mic thingy. You press it and you'll be unmuted. Okay, cool. There we go. We can hear you now. Anti-froze. Okay. So Hassan, is your internet connection stable enough so that you would be able to answer this question? We cannot get an answer from him right now because he's frozen. That happens with Zoom and StreamYard. So, technology is a great blessing, but sometimes, it could get this way. So I think we should start again from Lalaine. How do you think that, how do you think peace could be achieved? 1 point each. How do you think peace could be achieved? You're muted.
Okay, you're asking what I think that how we can keep peace. Okay.
Yes.
I think that peace could be kept by inner peace. I mean, you cannot achieve peace if you cannot achieve inner peace. And to achieve inner peace, you have to be true to yourself. So be true to yourself and always be attracted to positive thoughts. So that's the most vital way to achieve peace.
Yes, that's so true. And bringing up a point that Ibrahim said, that life is never perfect, and if it does not, because my life is going perfect. Like about 3 to 4 years ago, my life was the perfect life you could have. I moved into a big city. I had my brother, I had my parents. We're enjoying, we're going out, and suddenly I find out that my brother has blood cancer. So it was something that all of our family went through. And it was like something like, something that just like did not feel right, because it was not supposed to happen at that time. We were enjoying. And I think it happened for a reason, because we knew that, life is really unexpected. I could, maybe these are the last words I'm ever going to say. Maybe, anything could happen. So I think we should be happy and always pray for a happy childhood for every for every child around the earth. Not just for our country, not just for our house, but for the entire world, because we are one. No matter the color of our skin, the color of our eyes, and the professional background that we have, I think we should focus on their human beings, because even if, you're some huge, billionaire, or you're somebody who is homeless, you both are human beings. Both are created by God. That's, the biggest similarity that you could have between anything. So I think it's really good having, I'm just really so happy being here, because, putting up a panel, talking and having so much points being brought up here is amazing. So the next we have is Muhammad Ibrahim, about how is peace going to be achieved.
Sure.
Raheen, I was left in between piece. Sorry, I was having some connectivity issues.
Great, you're back, right? Please define peace.
Yes, I would love to define peace. Raheen, peace actually means the freedom of tranquility, as you all know. That I would, Raheen, please don't feel bad, but I'm just giving an example that if Raheen is lazy, if Raheen is sleeping on the bed, if Raheen is not making food, if Raheen is not helping her mother, if Raheen is not good in studies, so it does not mean that Raheen's parents are in peace. If Raheen is in peace, so it does not mean that Raheen's family members are in peace. So we can get peace by helping others, by knowing others' problems, by solving the problems, that if they are having some issues, so try to help them out. And I would love to say that I can proudly say that Raheen is a mashallah, very intelligent girl, lady, teacher, a stand-up comedian, and entrepreneur, and as you all know.
Yes, it's great because Hassan, it's actually something. It's a wonderful point, and I never mind being, because I'm a stand-up comedian, so my fellow comedians always make fun of me, so I'm kind of used to it now. But it's a great point that you brought up, and it's really amazing seeing all these people here. And thank you so much for the point that you brought up. So I think we should move on to Ibrahim, who was answering. So Ibrahim, how is peace going to be achieved?
Yeah, sure. Peace is actually, as I told you what peace is, so it will be started by us. And also this is also a component by making others happy. We can also achieve peace. But I think peace can be from the inner side, as Lal said. Peace can be found in our inner side, which is the subconscious. We don't even know about. I don't also know about it much, but I imagine that there is some part of mind in which all the positivity is stored, or anything we hear about, even the negativity. That thing usually say that. What will the people say about this thing and that thing? These are also the things which are stored in our subconscious mind, and we start to believe those things. So first of all, we have to clear up our subconscious mind. We have to clear up our mind about, and we should be listening about more how to bring peace, how is peace going to be achieved, and why peace is not in our life. We should listen to those things and should clear up our mind. We should end up those viruses from our brains. We should refresh our mind. We should put all the good information, and always think about positivity without even thinking of even a single piece of little bit of negativity. So we all should start thinking positively. That's how we will gonna achieve the peace.
That's so right, Ibrahim. And here, I wanted to say something that I think actually my favorite type of meditation. It's not just some meditation that's done by old people. Meditation can be done by kids. I used to do it when I was 2.5. So I've started from it's been 10 years since I've been doing meditation, and I would say try that at home. No, you just even if you're just sitting on your bed or you're lying down, just be in that true state and think about all the people that love you and how you love them back. So it's basically loving. I call it the loving meditation. So you think about love and you think about the positive energy around you, and you become, and it's just like, tapping that part of your brain that has all the, it's just like saying, knock, knock, give me all the positive energy. So it's going to give you all the positive energy. And I think that's how kind the brain is. And I think we should now move on to Berea. So Berea, how do you think is peace going to be there? Because it's important for us to be friends.
So as usually, we always face everything positively, and we should face problem bravely, and we never take anything negative, not even in any worse conditions.
Yes. Thank you so much for your answer. So now it's Hassan Adil's turn. So tell us, how do you think, Hassan, can we achieve the world peace?
Yes, sure. First of all, Raheen, I would like to say that as you know that the coronavirus pandemic, about coronavirus pandemic. So apart the doctors and apart the bankers, apart the doctors and apart the media persons, people are working from home. As you all know that I am right. So this is the great time because and I think that in Pakistan there is not a single person peace. So we can get peace by spending time with our family. in coronavirus, and coronavirus is a really great time by staying at home, eating food with your family, discussing the problems which you were facing before the coronavirus pandemic, and what do you think, how much long the coronavirus will last, what type of talk you want to do, you can, but you have to, because you have to give your time to your family too. They also keep some, like they also wants to discuss with you many things, but you are not free enough to talk with them. You have to, as you all know, that Zoom, StreamYard is a very great platform for all of us, the youngsters, to talk and to get to know about our talent. So I think that this is how can we get peace.
Exactly. And I feel like, and that's what I have to say, because it's like my answer after every answer. So I think peace can be achieved when we raise our children enough so that they can be responsible part of the world. Because, you know, maybe like just saying I love my mom and dad, I know they're watching, but, you know, if my parents didn't raise me the way that they did, and if I was, you know, I was like the kind of person, why should I care what's happening in the world? Why should I care about other people's childhood? What I should care about is myself. I am doing good. You know, let's just binge watch something. I think it's about how you raise your children to be, because, you know, if you're peaceful, but it's more important that the next generation is more peaceful. And I see all these people are really peaceful. You know, they never get angry. They're always very like, they're always showing love. And that's, you know, even before the show, we were discussing, you know, how it's really important for us to show love to each other. You know, I was showing love to all of them and they were sending love back. So tell
Raheen,
me.
I would like to add in my answer that as you just like told about what type of as you tell your answer after my answer. So I would like to add in your answer that this type of generation, I don't think so is really much nice. I would tell you why. Because if parents has taught us many things, right? We are being taught us by our parents, and if I am a child star, so I am because of my parents. They struggled a lot for for I being a child star. So I was saying that our parents teached us that how you have to use your mobile phone, how you have to eat. If your parent is asking that what is that gadget, Hassan, and if I am answering, why are you asking many times? I just can say one time. I'm a very busy person. This is not the answer. Actually, they also have respect. They are also human beings, and they are actually your parents. Your religion doesn't say that don't obey to your parents. What is, bro? What is, sister? What are you wanna talk to your parents? How are you talking? What is your behavior? Can you define? You can't really define also, because you are talking that much rash words. So I think that this type of generation must use nice words and be calm with their parents.
Yes. And I truly agree, because I remember how I was teaching my grandpa the technology. Nowadays, he's, you know, that Bluetooth kind of person. And, you know, he carries this pretty expensive mobile phone, and he's, you know, a very techie kind of person now. And I remember, you know, it would be like, you know, I'm telling you this again and again. That's how you cast to a TV from a mobile. But I see that, you know, when I started learning about AI, I was like, you know, what is this? You know, it's so annoying. You know, people are using this, and, you know, they're saying something and they're coding. But I felt that way. And then I felt, you know, I do not know about what they're doing, they keep yelling at me for not knowing what they're doing. It's so annoying. I really want to yell back. And then I figured out that's how my parents and that's how my grandparents feel when I yell back, because they do not know. They could have, you know, first they could have, you know, just researched about technologies, or go work hard and raise us to be what we are. So I think it's our responsibility to teach our grandparents and our parents technology, So, even today I was like, Baba, what are you doing? I keep correcting him in StreamYard and Zoom because I've been using it for a long time. So I know a lot of tricks and tips. But I think it's all, peaceful at the end of the day. And I hope that the world peace would be here. And so again, I have a very cool question. Why do you think a child's childhood is so important? Because it's a very important part of, anybody's life. So why do you think it is important, Lalaine?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Yes, sure. I wanted to ask you, Lalaine, that why do you think childhood in a child's life, the part of early ages, why is it important in a lifetime?
This is also important for children to settle into their environment. So because of these, we have to teach our younger siblings on how to talk politely and how to talk respectfully with their elders. So that could be a reason. So that could, concentrate on peace, and that's how you can teach your younger siblings about peace.
Yes. And what I feel like, and the interesting part, and like everybody that I interview who is a bit older, I ask them how it was, how was their early childhood? Because it's just like walking a kid down the ice cream place. It's so fun, it's walking them down the memory lane. It's so fantastic because I remember once I interviewed somebody, he was so like, he was very much into his memories, how he used to go, how he used to build tree houses and play in them, how he used to have time with his grandpa. So, and it actually inspired him to post a lot of his childhood pictures. And I saw it makes an impact because that's a really positive way to start off an interview. Because when you think of your childhood, you think a lot of positive memories. Because my childhood was really cool. I was the only kid, so I didn't have to share a lot of things. But it was interesting. I was the only kid in my entire family, so I had all the love to myself. So Ibrahim, what are your thoughts about the importance of childhood?
Yeah, actually, childhood is a great thing. When we enter the teenage, we think that teenage is a good life because we start to explore things and we get to know about a lot of different things, a lot of changes in our life, a lot of body changes, etc., other things. But the main thing is that childhood, which really develops you. In this case, I wasn't a good child because I wasn't used to develop myself. I didn't used to observe anything. I was just copying others in my childhood a lot of the most of the time, we can say. But after, when I was a child, I was very shy, and I used to watch YouTubers. So those YouTubers created a really huge impact on my life. That's why I became a little bit more confident than before. I was really shy kid. I only had one friend. I didn't had used to have more than one friend. I didn't used to play games or anything else. I was just used to see the people playing games, just trying to observe them, but no, not even trying those things which they are trying practically. I wasn't used to do this. It wasn't really good in my case, but I think if we try to teach our kids how to grow themselves, how they can improve their personality in the good way, not in the bad way. Other people usually observe those things which they usually see around them. So try to protect them from the badness and the bad behaviors of other people. It's the best time to develop your kids' mentality. So make sure the childhood is the perfect time for your kid.
Yes, that's so true. And guys, I needed to share this. And I should have shared it before, but it's never too late. So, Ibrahim is actually doing a great job with his interviews. He's also going to be interviewing me on next Sunday, 6 p.m. here. And I hope it is amazing. And so I wanted to share that that's how every kid is, at a time, like every person is shy. I was shy till I was, I think, 4 to 5 years old. And that's, when I just, broke my shell and I just came out because it was like, I felt, I just felt, shy.
Raheen, you
Yeah?
won't believe me. I was shy until 11.
What?
I was shy
What?
until 11. Yeah, you are now 12. I was shy until 11. Can you believe that? Now, a few
It's
years back,
actually,
I just started exploring and learning about things and trying things practically. I was just used to observe them, but not trying them. Just thinking and imagining them as a good thing. But when I started talking to others, it was the best feeling I've ever felt.
exactly. And talking to Ibrahim, I remember talking to him the first time, which is like a pretty long time ago.
Yeah.
But I remember I met him at a conference and it was so interesting. He came near me, and he also had his brother. So, he was the first person who ever took a picture with me. So I felt like a celebrity. I was talking and I was performing, and I came out, and it was really interesting. So I actually became like friends with Ibrahim, and then we've met a lot of times, and yeah, it's all really interesting. So that's how every person grows. You might actually be a shy person until you're 40 years old, and then you would just eventually break that shell. But I would say, you're never too old. I don't know why I try to explain that to my dad. You're 41, but you're not too old. Please stop saying that. You're the oldest person on earth. So
Yeah.
I think it's always going to be fun explaining that to him. And I think we should move on to Bria. So Bria, why do you think a childhood is so important?
Because children are important too, because they are really sensitive. And to bring childhood, we have to remember everything of our parents, because they taught us everything. They taught us how to how to how to face to others, and just like this and other stuff. And most importantly, when parents get angry at you, and you have to remember that, that's a really important thing to remember, because children can learn from their parents' behavior.
Yes. And I think you
Exactly.
should never say, there's always a few things that you should never say to a child, whether that be talking behind a child's back, even if you're just saying something about their physical appearance or something about their mental growth. It can affect the child very, very much. Now, if you hear something, about yourself, it can affect you in a good way or in a bad way. So always be careful about what you're saying and how you're saying it, and also where you're saying it. Are you saying it on their face, or are you saying it behind their back? So I
Exactly.
think parenting is a hard job.
Hmm.
If you see my parents, it's hard to actually, just stay with me all the time, especially in this situation. Um, Having me around you for like uh, 12 and a half years now is a hard job. But, it's all to them, because bearing me is a pretty hard job. So, you guys deserve medals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Raheen, I'd like to add a point, which is that our parents, not my parents, they are really good, Alhamdulillah, thankfully. Usually, parents in Pakistan and mostly in Asia, India, India and etc. Parents usually don't try to show the love for each other. If there is a husband, he will not gonna show love for his wife. The wife will not gonna show the love for her husband, but they will fight and they will not gonna feel anything. If they are fighting in front of their kids, they are shouting at each other. They won't find anything irrelevant or anything bad being happened to the child's mentality. That is a really wrong thing. If we don't make love in front of, or even show love in front of our kids, then we shouldn't be even fighting in front of them. This is a really great point. uh, that we usually fight that parents usually fight in front of kids and they don't feel anything bad. They just seem like I'm aggressive, and they just accept it as a natural thing, but they don't think that their fighting with each other will make a huge bad impact on the child's mentality. So we should look up to these things. as
Yes.
a parent.
And exactly, that's a point that's an amazing point that you brought up, Ibrahim. And I know people that, you know, their childhood wasn't so good, maybe because of their parents fights, maybe because they got separated. But I think we should always, you know, even if two parents are divorced or separated, you know, it's their personal matters, but they should always know that, you know, if they have children together, they should always, you know, be parents for them. They shouldn't be like,
Exactly.
I'm not seeing your, you know, your father's face on anything. We shouldn't be aggressive because it's the child's father or it's the child's mother. So whoever has the custody should always focus that, you know, the childhood shouldn't be ruined. You know, there's a lot of people who might have separated, but they should always, you know, have that, you know, thing that they should always, you know, have love for each other in front of their parents, in front of their kids. So I think that's something that parents should actually look up for. Thank you so much for the point.
I
And
just
love
raised
it.
this
Priya,
point because I've seen some people having a bad impact because of their parents fighting with each other.
Yes.
exactly, that's what I've seen as well. So now, Priya, do you have a story to tell us? Because we only have one question left.
And we only have about 5 minutes left too.
Oh, I
I
see.
know.
So
Yeah, sure. Once upon a time, there was a girl, and her name was Sarah. She was going down the street to go to her grandmother's house. Then some beggar came and said, "Please, child, give me some food." And she said, "I will give you." And she gave her the food and went to her grandmother's house. After she got home, her grandmother says, "Sarah, where's my food?" And she says, "I have given to a beggar. You have done a really good, wonderful thing. And for that, I will give you a prize." So, as you know, all that helping is really important for the peace. If we don't help and we don't show kindness, the peace is nothing for us.
exactly. Priya, you are so good at stories. I mean, it was an awesome story that you told. Thank you so much.
Thank
You know,
you.
love for you. And
Thank you.
so I want to ask you one more question, Priya, because you're the
Yeah.
youngest person here. So tell us, what's one thing that you want your elders to pray for prayer day? What do you want them to ask to God for?
To be a grateful person and complete my Hafzul Quran.
Mm-hmm. Done.
Okay, noted. Everybody just tell that quickly, and then because we have less time left, so and then we're gonna be ending the broadcast. So Lalaine, you go next.
Okay, I'll go and I'll tell what I want my elders to pray for prayer day is according to prayer day, I would want our elders to pray for peace in our world because not only this pandemic of COVID, but also the lack of inner peace is resulting in disturbance everywhere. But the task of building peace and preventing conflict also matters. So I have three things to be noted. Reason number one, participation and conclusion are also needed beyond the signing of any peace agreement. Participation and inclusion can also start from the point of understanding a conflict from conflict analysis. The analysis process should find ways to include perspective of those who don't shout the loudest. Reason number two, women playing vital roles for peace. Beyond the spotlight of international negotiations, youth, displaced people, ethnic minorities, or those living in remote and unstable border regions, for example. Reason number three, giving people the space and support to collectively reflect on and explore. Solutions at a local level can help them discover their own agency. We have seen this many times over. The people in conflicted areas used to say, "We are victims, and what can victims do?" Yet, as discussions went on, it became clear how much they had to offer in terms of capacity, insights, ideas, and local leadership. I must say that encouragingly, inclusion and participation are important features and key to international strategies and operational guidance.
Yes. Thank you
Amen.
so much for your answer.
Hallelujah. I love it. That's so great. Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, we go fast. Okay, Hudson, you go next.
Yes, my wish, I would love that my elders wish about my success and about them and about that God give us a lot of mercy and His blessings on this world and finish all this corona disease and the patients who are positive finishes soon, and the people who died may they rest in peace.
Oh,
Amen.
amen.
Okay, so Ibrahim, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I'd like to say that our elders should pray for the peace, especially in this pandemic time, and they all should stand together. By not standing together, obviously, we should keep the distance, but we can stay together by interacting online or not stopping their kids by exploring. And I would like to say that our parents should never stop the kids from exploration, because it is the vital exploration plays a vital role in the development of a kid. And the prayer I want my elders to do is the peace, especially in this pandemic time.
Amen.
I mean, and I also have a last wish, which is pretty, small. It is that every kid in this world actually, explores who they are inside themselves and what they want to do in life. So their purpose of life is clear, and they're all ready to go. So that's what I pray for.
Oh, thank you all so much. Let's do this again. Okay? I
Yeah,
think we should
sure.
do this again, and we should pick another topic next time, and we'll go for it again.
I'd
You
love
are
to,
all
John.
such a blessing. You are all such a blessing. Many, many, much waves of love, care, and respect to each one of you. And on your journey, oh God, just bless these children with everything that they want and need in this world so that they can make their dreams happen. And we are behind you, and we look forward to supporting you from.
It's an honor to meet you, Rick, and it's an honor to have you on the show, and it's an honor to like you are hosting this show. So it's an honor for all of us, and take care all of you, and please stay at home, stay safe, and we'll meet you all soon, inshallah. After the disease, we will come at Rick's home when we will be when after the
There you go.
so inshallah we'll meet you all soon. Take care, Allah Hafiz.
All right. So
Yeah.
you've been watching International Children's Month and our youth panel. It's going to be up on YouTube, and we look forward to meeting many, many people in the future. And I will put all of these guys' links in there so you can get to their NGOs and their live streams and all of the fun things they have created for you. So, peace to the world, right, guys? Peace to the world. We got this together as one. I love you. We love you. Good job, everybody. Fantastic.
It was
Thanks.
so good, So I think we should actually definitely do this again. I mean, I was
Definitely,
actually
let's do
nervous,
it.
but
Definitely, let's do it.